You got to be in it for the long haul to see the results you're looking for. Like you hear people like, oh, I just want to work out because I'm going to the beach soon. Summer's coming up. So for 2 months, I want to eat clean and work out. And then the summer comes and you're barbecuing and drinking beers. And then you wonder why September's our busiest month.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in, for being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about sustainable and lasting changes versus quick fixes because it's a good topic. Why not? So yeah, super excited to jump in this subject. You know what's funny is I was riding my bike down the beach yesterday, and someone said, "That's why you try to build a business and sell it quick because it takes too long for organic growth." And I was like, it was just a foreign concept. I just thought when I started True Form, it was because I wanted to change people's lives. Like I really wanted to help people. And in most cases, that's what people start businesses for, is because in a lot of cases, I interview a lot of people almost weekly. But in most cases, people solve their own problem. And then from there, they want to teach other people how to solve that same problem. That's what happens in most cases when I listen to people's stories. You know, I think it's important to understand what your goal is, like what you want to work towards, and most people don't, which is the problem with setting and achieving. But when I start with, like, for these other practitioners that I interview, they want to help people, and that's why we started True Form. I was like, I got to help people. Seems like a lot of people have different types of issues, let's say, that they want help with or need help with. And I never took any business classes. I never went to school for finance, which is obviously a mistake now. Should have paid more attention in math class. But of course, hindsight's 20/20. But for now, when they teach business school, they're like, you build a business to sell. I think in most cases, from what I understand, I don't know specifically because I haven't been there. But so I heard this guy talking. So with True Form, I never had the idea of, let's build it and then sell it. Like that was never a plan. So it was just a foreign concept for me to hear that this guy was like, you just got to build it and sell it. And I'm like, you know how long it takes to build a business? I mean, of course, there's different ways to go about it. You can get a bunch of investors in and you could build as quick as possible and then you sell it as quick as possible. I suppose that's an option, but so it's just different. I suppose it's different, but I feel like it's a very similar mindset. And I heard this guy talk. Like that guy's like, just build a business and sell it. And I'm like, it's very difficult, very, very small, very few businesses get past 3 years and then less get past 5 years. And when I was starting out, people were like, oh, just get past 3 years and you're good. And I'm like, all right. So after 3 years, I think my 4th year was probably my most challenging year. I was like, they've all been lying to me. But it's that mindset. I'm not going to talk about business the whole time, but it's the mindset of that guy that was like, just build it and sell it. And because organic growth takes too long. And I'm like, well, takes too long for what? Like, what's your hurry? What's your rush? At least for us, this is our lifestyle. We get a chance to talk. Like I wake up and get a chance to talk about nutrition and fitness and lifestyle. I mean, what am I rushing for? And don't get me wrong. I know like people want to like rush and they're like, oh, I really want to hurry up and make a ton of money so I can buy whatever I want. But then you fall back into the same trap. I think that's so interesting how people gauge their success. Like so you gauge your success on finances, for example. And it's very interesting because you could have someone that has millions of dollars, or I should say millions of dollars worth of things, but is in financial debt, credit cards, and they owe the bank and this and that. Like the bank starts to take their stuff, and it's slightly embarrassing. So, I mean, just because you have a lot of things, I'm not sure if that would be wealthy. It's not how much money you make; it's how much money you keep, and you keep that money and you invest it in different areas. And I think that's financial freedom. But I think a lot of people feel like a financial freedom is like how much money I make, and then maybe how much money I spend. That's what we should gauge financial freedom on: is how much money you spend. Don't worry about any debt that we have, or don't worry about how much money's going out, or if the bank owns everything. So I suppose my main conversation here today is around sustainability, sustainable lifestyle changes, as opposed to quick fixes. And I mean, we always talk about quick fixes. It's so apparent in today's world. When someone sends you an email, for example, and most people expect an email probably that same day, if not within the same hour. And then, of course, if you don't get it that day, you're like, I wonder what happened. And you expect it the next day. You're like, oh, well, they should get back to me today. So, I mean, I feel like that as well. And that's just the instant mentality that we have of, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to make a bunch of money, which is what I thought too. Or I'm going to start a fitness program, and in 2 weeks, I'm going to see the results I'm looking for. Or even 2 months. 2 months in, where's my results? So, but I also think it's important to manage expectations. So when we did our sugar detox, for example, we set 3 levels, and we said, here's the level that you could be at. Like if you're starting brand new, you should probably start at this level. These are the things that you should do, and these are your expectations. So we're trying to manage expectations before we started. And then there's the second level of, okay, this is a bit more intense. This is more stuff to do, but as the time and effort increases, so will the results. And then we had our expert level, those of more of our Fit Fam members, for example, or people that we've worked with in the past that are on track, that don't consume too much sugar to begin with. Here are your tasks. Here's a specific meal plan. And then here are the results that you can expect. So what we were trying to do is offer actions, and then from there, you show them the benefits of what you may have. But I think the problem is that, and then you manage the expectations of what level you're at, or what level you should expect to be. So the problem is we're missing the gap between action. So a lot of people say, I want to do this, and they may take a few action steps, but their action steps don't equate to their aspirations, let's say, or the goals that they want to achieve or accomplish. So managing expectations is quite difficult. So let's say someone hasn't really done anything at all. Let's say someone hasn't done, and that happens quite often. When I was personal training, people would come to me and say, I haven't worked out in 20 years, but I used to be an athlete when I was in high school, which is great. So you haven't done anything in 20 years. So then you go to a personal trainer, and then you say, okay, I expect some results in 2 weeks. So then, and I say, well, how many years have you spent doing whatever you want and living a certain lifestyle, which brought you to someone who wants to change your fitness, possibly nutrition, and hopefully lifestyle? It's rare when you get all those from a personal trainer. Usually they just stand there and tell you to do curls. But if you're looking at what I feel is a proper way to make some actual sustainable changes, then you need to address everything. So you say you've been doing this for 20 years, living one way, and then you're going to jump into a fitness program, and then you're going to expect things to change overnight. You're going to expect things to change. And I would say 2 weeks is overnight. In some cases, I would say 2 months. So just think about that. 20 years. And of course, I'm just throwing out numbers. It could be 5 years. 5 years is a pretty long time to be living. Let's say it's sedentary lifestyle, fast food. You're not working out. You're not active. Environment is something we have to talk about. Maybe you're in a negative environment. You know what I heard just yesterday? Someone was like, oh, I really want to get out of this job. Like the manager's super toxic and negative, and it's really affecting my life. And I thought that was profound. And I use profound similar to extraordinary. Most people just think extraordinary is a word that's unreachable, but extraordinary, for that person to be like, this is a negative person in my life. Well, the problem is some people don't know how to get out. Most people don't know how to get out. They don't have a plan. They don't take action towards. So they live a very toxic lifestyle for years. And the problem is that let's say it's 5 years. You have a toxic lifestyle, sedentary, not working out, not active, not eating, and then you go. So 5 years. How many months is that? 12 times 5. But then you look at someone that's like, okay, it's been 2 or 3 months. Where's my results? And I'm like, it's been 5 years. So you spent all that time living a toxic lifestyle, let's say, and then in a couple months, you're like, I should see results. Why don't I see my results? So I'm just trying to help you understand or put in result perspective, because I feel like it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Like I said earlier on, I mentioned business. Like it could be business. Like let's build quick and sell it. Like, well, what's quick? Depending on what industry it is or what it is that you're doing, how much finance you have. Do you have investors? Do you have money saved? Some people save a bunch of money on their own before they start their own business. Some people are working on the side, like work weekends and work weekdays for their business that brings in money. Because when you start a business, your business doesn't bring in money. And then they do their own side gig on the weekends to try to build that up. So the more work and time and effort you put in, your expectations can be higher. But it's that expectation that needs to match up with the action. So if you're looking at nutrition and fitness, for example, like, oh, well, I'm working out a couple times a week. Well, in most cases, a couple times a week is pretty good for maintaining. So when I was working with people one-on-one, I would say, okay, if you want to maintain where you're at right now, you work out twice a week. If you want to improve your results and get better at what you're doing, you have to work out 3 to 4 times a week, minimum. Probably 5 times a week is a little bit better. And I'm not saying you have to be in the gym for 2.5 hours. We do 25-minute workouts, 25-minute 30-minute workouts maybe. And that's with me talking and explaining. So 25-minute workout. And that's daily, but it's also lifestyle. You need to do those things. You need to do those little things that no one wants to talk about. Like you park further away from the grocery store, so you're not right in front of the door, but you get a few more steps in. And you go for walks because you like to enjoy fresh air instead of sitting in your house because it's too cold outside. And it's skipping pizza and wing night just because your friends are doing it. You make your own food. You know what I mean? Like it's all the little things that add up, but that's not the problem. The problem isn't that you're not doing the small things. The problem is you're not managing expectations. So managing expectations need to match the action. So the more you do, so there'd be a problem if you're eating from a meal plan, like a proper meal plan, if you're working out 5 days a week and you have a supportive environment and you're still not seeing results, then there's a problem. But if you're working out a couple times a week and you have a couple cleaner meals and then you expect big results, I feel like those are the biggest issues coming in when people don't see the results they're looking for. So I know this is a tough subject. It's a quiet group this morning. It's a tough subject because for a number of things one of them is we want to see results instantly. But the problem is when you get instant results or you find instant results, those results disappear just as quickly as they come. And that's all there is to it. If you do, so this is one of the reasons why we don't like weekend fasts or quick fixes. The reason why we don't do, and don't get me wrong, there is benefits to fasting for a day. And there's benefits to fasting for 3 days, let's say, for extended period of time. You can reset your digestive system. You can reset your metabolism. There's benefits. There's benefits to intermittent fasting. But the problem with that one is people just forget to eat. And they're like, oh, I'm fasting. And I'm like, no, you forgot to eat. And I mean, there's other ones. There's paleo, there's keto. Like we can talk about those as well. But what I'm saying here is that if you want to do that short term, then you should expect short term results. Because, so if you want to say, oh, I'm going to fast for Saturday, Sunday for 2 days, then what's going to happen on Monday? You're going to go back to that same toxic lifestyle of eating refined sugar, processed food, probably a negative environment. In most cases, if you're not eating properly, you're probably not going to work out consistently. So you went for a couple days and then maybe you saw results like, oh my gosh, I dropped 5 pounds in 2 days because I cut out sugar completely. And then on Monday, Tuesday, you ate double the amount because you felt you were deprived all weekend. And as quickly as that 5 pounds dropped off, you gained it all back. So that's why we say that sustainable, lasting changes is a much better plan than the short term fix. You could do anyone. You could lose. I could tell you how to lose 5 pounds in a weekend. So you carb deplete and you dehydrate. That's it. You carb deplete and you dehydrate. So stop drinking water. Well, most people don't drink much water anyways, but stop drinking water and eat 0 carbs. And then and then experience how your mind functions, not very well, and how your body functions dehydrated, which could be how it's functioning now. And then start eating food and carbs and start exercising and drinking water and see the difference. You're going to feel, on the weekend, you're going to feel brain fog and you're going to feel mentally depleted. You're going to feel like very emotional. And then when you start to implement proper food again and you start drinking water, you're going to feel much better. So you could take it to extreme just to see the difference. But during that week, during those couple days where you're like, okay, I got to drop some weight for my wedding, let's say. And then you see those results, right? And maybe you deal with that brain fog and you're moody and emotional. And then the next couple of days comes and you start eating again and you're drinking again. And then all that weight, let's say, comes back. You see what I'm saying? There's not much benefit. Like, that's why we're like, why are you doing a weekend fast? Because you're going to go back to that same lifestyle and all the results that you found is going to come back. So we prefer sustainable changes as opposed to quick fixes. When we work with our distributors, like, it's a personal touch. I answer questions for them all the time. When we work with our customers, like, customer support is important for us. I feel like customer support is a staple in our business, and I want it to be. So you look at other people that will go and buy cheaper products, or they'll go and support that giant A because it comes in a day or 2 days because it's cheaper and there's no customer support. I mean, everyone has their own choices, but then you see other people like selling products from other businesses, and it's fine. Like, you do what you want, but I just feel like you don't get that personal support and you don't get that personal touch. And regardless, like, how big we grow or how fast we grow, I always want that to be there. So I think it's ridiculous for someone to, like, you guys, I'm so grateful for you showing up. And when we do lives or new product launches, or we're so grateful for people to show up, because that's your time. There's nothing more valuable than your time. And that knowledge or understanding of how valuable your time is only increases as you get older. When you're younger, you think you have all the time in the world. And then as you get older, you understand that you have limited time yourself. You have limited time with friends and family members. And when you spend your time with us, that means the world to us, because there's a million other things you could be doing. So for someone to say, I'm sorry, I'm busy, contact someone else when you're spending your time with them, it's ridiculous. So thanks for that. We answer all the questions come through. We answer, and we try to implement that. Those that we have now, we have some ambassadors we're working with. We have distributors, and we try to relay that as much as possible. And I would rather grow slowly and have a solid base and have a solid team with deep roots than just have everyone like, oh, you want to sell? You want to join our team, without anyone paying attention to what our products are about, how they can help, who we are as people, and how we can build our business with a brand that people can trust. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that we strive for, is that people can trust our products. They know that we've done hours and hours of research. We want to create the best products possible with the cleanest ingredients. And I want people to see our name in our brand and be like, okay, that's clean. You go to the store, who knows? Eventually, we could have our own locations, or we could be in other stores. And I want people to go there and be like, oh, all those products are clean. I'm done. I'm gonna grab it and go. And I think that's rare to find. When I was starting out, is that I wanted to change the world, like young and inspired, and I want to change the world. And that person's not drinking a smoothie; they should drink smoothies. That person's drinking horrible ingredients, so I would explain like CTP was our first product, so that's easy to reference to. But they had a protein supplement that had all these toxins, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell them the toxins. They're gonna realize it's bad for you. They're going to stop drinking it, and it's going to improve their health. And then I realized people don't want to hear that. Like certain people, they don't want to hear that. They want to buy a cheap product that tastes good, and that makes them feel that they're doing something good for their body. And then of course, then you have some people that are like, oh, I'm not getting the results. And you look at that, and you're like, well, give your head a shake. I already told you. But what I'm saying here is, I knew. I try to change everyone's mindset, but you can't change everyone's mindset. So we understand now that we do a better job of finding our people, like our people that will pay a bit more for better quality ingredients, people that care about the ingredients, people that want products that actually will improve their health. That's our goal now, is to find those people instead of changing everyone's mind, which is what I thought I should do when I was starting out. So when people come to us and they complain about like, oh, that's too much. I'm like, okay. Instead of trying to justify the price, or, I have this product and it has 25 ingredients when it should have 3. Then I have this one and I love it. And I actually say, well, if you love your product, you should stay with it. That's the first thing I say to people that are like, well, I love this product. Tell me why yours is better. I'm like, nah, if you love your product, you should stay with your product. Why would you change? I don't want to change your mind. And then I don't think people realize, like, we're real people. It takes us time and effort, and then we experiment and we change recipes and we take pictures, and then we put those up in a blog post and we put them on social media for free. Like, it doesn't cost you anything to look at it. It costs us time and effort and supplies to make it, but it costs you nothing. And then some people are like, I don't like that one. Like, oh, sorry about that. Sorry we didn't meet your expectations today, but this is what we came up with, and you don't have to use it. And like, there's tons of benefits to keto and having your body in ketosis. It's really challenging for most people because of the foods that are available, the social gatherings. It's really difficult for people to have that longevity, I suppose, with keto. Like, so you see people bounce on in and off. Like, putting your body in ketosis was originated from, like, they found that children had less epileptic episodes when their body was in a ketosis state. And then they also found research found that it prevented cancer cells from growing, body in a ketosis state. So someone was like, hey, maybe other people should be on ketosis. So then they found people could lose weight really quickly on ketosis. So of course now there's this big keto craze, which is perfectly fine. You guys do what you want. I just don't know if it was meant to be on long term. And I don't know if there's long term health benefits. And don't get me wrong, there's tons of health benefits to most things. I just think it's I think there's a reason why it's challenging to be on it long term. So maybe you do it for 6 weeks and you reset your system, you find some other health benefits, and then you ease back into your regular lifestyle, but you have to implement exercise and you have to implement proper nutrition. I would imagine people did that very strictly, possibly for 6 weeks, and they dropped a bunch of weight, and then they went back to McDonald's and fries, trans fats and hydrogenated oils. I mean, those are going to cause inflammation in your body and obviously increase your body weight. So that kind of stuff happens all the time. It's managing expectations. And I feel like those expectations should have been, well, if you're only doing this for 6 weeks, like for us, when we did our sugar detox, we said we don't talk about weight loss, but we say you should have more mental clarity. You should sleep better. You should start feeling better about yourself, less inflammation, less pain. And then we offer tips and suggestions on how you can, after a challenge, for example, it's only a crash course of 10 days, let's say, and we offer suggestions and tips and tools on how you can continue on making those changes. But it's up to everyone. Everyone makes their own choices. So if you stop completely of the program that we were doing and you go back to everyone's like tired, digestion issues, lack of motivation, mobility, and then you go back to that lifestyle that created that, then of course all the symptoms are going to come back that you worked so hard for to get during those 10 days. Thank you guys for joining me. I just feel like there's so many benefits to being in it in the long haul. I talked to you guys briefly at the beginning when I first started, and I said, like, business wise, for example, like, we're in it for the long haul. I don't ever have a plan of being like, oh, I don't have a plan to retire. Like, I have no retirement plans. I'll work. I love to work. Like, that's part of my life. Like, it's a hobby. My work is my hobby. So for people that are like, oh my gosh, he has to do this, or, oh, I feel so bad for him, he has to do all that research. Who would want to do that? Like, that's fun for me. That's exciting. When we launch a new product, it's exciting. Like, I wonder if people, like, how are we going to market it? How are we going to price it? How are we going to package it? Are people going to buy it? Like, that's all exciting for me. So when I say we're in it for the long haul, that's a different mindset of we're here and I'm not trying to get out. I'm not trying to rush. I'm relaxed. I'm like, this is life. Like, this is what our life looks like. And of course it changes and adapts, but that's much different than someone else that's like, doesn't want to answer questions, that they don't want to like do research. They don't want to put in the time and effort to build a sustainable business. Like, so for us, like, to be here and to stick with it and to let you know we're not going anywhere. We're just going to keep getting better and improving. That's much different. But that's the same thing of what I'm talking about is your lifestyle, is that you got to be in it for the long haul to see the results you're looking for. Like, you hear people like, oh, I just want to work out because I'm going to the beach soon. Of course, that's difficult now, but a lot of people are like, oh, the summer's coming up. So for 2 months, I want to eat clean and work out. And then the summer comes and you're barbecuing and drinking beers. And then you wonder why September's our busiest month. September is way busier than January, always, because it's all summer of people eating, drinking, whatever they want, whatever they've lost in the couple months leading up to summer, they gain back that twice as much. Come September, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. I'm irritable. My digestion is out of whack. So if it's a different mindset. If you're in it for the long haul, if you understand that I want to start eating better forever, I want to start exercising and being more active as a lifestyle, then being like, I got a month to get this done. I got 2 weeks for my wedding. Should I not eat any food for 2 weeks? No, you should probably eat some food. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to everyone for jumping in and hanging out with me. If you have any questions about our products or services, we're always here for you. And if you just have questions about health in general, not specifically products, we'll definitely be here to answer questions as well. So everyone have a wonderful day.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is TrueFormLife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at TrueFormLife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.